The Red Rock Rivalry Trophy is back up for grabs. Will Weber State bring the hardware back to Ogden, or will it stay in Flagstaff with NAU? Welcome to This Week in Big Sky Football.
Three, two, one, go!
Hello and welcome to This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm your host, Megan Robinson. The Red Rock Rivalry Trophy was introduced in 2022. However, the rivalry between Weber State and NAU goes all the way back to 1964. And this week, we are featuring it as our game of the week. There's a lot more at stake than just that trophy in this matchup between the Cats and the Jacks. This game will be crucial to the overall FCS playoff picture. With that, I'd like to welcome in Northern Arizona quarterback Ty Pennington, who'll be playing in his first Red Rock rivalry game. Ty, this is your first year at NAU. You followed your head coach, Brian Wright from Pittsburgh State. Why did you choose to follow Coach Wright to Flagstaff?
Yeah, it was, really just came down to him and I's relationship. We've known each other for 3 to 4 years now. So just getting to know him, getting to know his family and the type of man he is, just made the decision very easy for me. He's a player's coach. He prides himself in creating relationships with his players and meaningful relationships. So just that part of it was just that's what made me come here.
I talked to Coach earlier this season and asked him about your relationship, how you've adjusted and where he thinks you've grown the most. And he said one of the areas you've improved the most is your leadership. What is your reaction to that?
Yeah, Coach Wright made it, a priority for me to continue to work on that and, build relationships with the guys on the team. So, you're never going to be at your absolute best. There's always room to improve. So I try and make that a priority each and every day to continue to be a leader, get to know my teammates, and just let them know that I have their back.
Looking ahead to this week, your first time playing in this Red Rock rivalry against Weber State. You'll be facing defensive end Kamari Mugne-Bailey, who is fourth in the Big Sky in sacks. What will be the key for you to escape his tackles and that pressure and avoiding the sacks?
Yeah, just trusting our guys up front. They've done a great job this year, run the ball and protecting me back there. So just keeping faith in them. And then just making sure, I'm protected at all angles, whether I have to adjust something up front. So just those two things, just trusting them and making sure we're in the right call.
This is a home game for you. The Lumberjacks are 3-0 this season and have won the last 5 dating back to 2023 at home. What do you think has been making the home field advantage so real for you and NAU?
I think just over the season, just the community support has just gotten better and better. The stadium's starting to fill up and, there's buzz around town. So, just the community support and the environment they create on home games is a big deal to us.
This is also a military appreciation game for NAU. Your brother is in the military. What makes this game extra special, having a brother in the armed forces and it being military appreciation?
Yeah, I like to think as a great honor. Him and the rest of the military just going to work each day, keeping us safe, and no one really understands the things they go through. My brothers told me about it, but just some of the things just seems crazy to me. So doing this for them is a great honor, and I take a lot of pride in it.
Next, Weber State's leading rusher, Damon Bankston, joins the show.
Yeah, definitely. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye.
All right. Thanks. All right. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Welcome back to This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm Megan Robinson, joined now by running back for the Weber State Wildcats, Damon Bankston. Damon, when we spoke over the summer, you said that ever since your injury last season, you were playing every game like it was your last. Well, this year, you're second in the Big Sky in rushing. You're averaging 6.5 yards per carry. How do you think that's playing out for you?
I think that switch of mindset is actually playing out pretty good for me. Now that I just look at the outlooks of my games, I look at every game as a chance to just, get better and just improve and just leave it all out there.
Well, last game you had a career high 234 rushing yards plus a touchdown. How do you improve from that going into this week against NAU?
Yeah, with some high numbers like that, it seems hard to improve. But me, I always find like small things in my game I can critique. It's when you have like big performances like that, it's nothing really major, but you got to look at the small details and just have faith in the environment around me, the coaching staff. All credit to my O-line too, because without them, there's no yards. So just keep the big guys up front motivated, and then we're good.
Mentioning your O-line, the Weber State rushing attack is third in the Big Sky. Of course, a lot of credit has to go to the O-line. It also has to go to you. And of course, Davion Godley, he has emerged a little bit this season. He's a true freshman. How have you seen him emerge in that running back room?
Yeah, as soon as I seen Davion, I call him DG. As soon as I seen DG, I knew he was gonna be good. He just came in with a spark. He's different in his own way. Like he doesn't really act like everybody. I like that about him, and he comes out there and he just gives it his all every time. And I appreciate him for that. And also the O-line, just the guys of O-line, they also want to get better every week too. So I appreciate them for that as well.
Looking ahead to your matchup this week against NAU, what challenges does that Lumberjack defense present to opposing offenses?
Yeah, that defense, they play hard, they play physical. I know by watching the film on them, they're gonna come with everything they got. They like I said, they play hard. So we just got to match their intensity and give it out there. I feel like it's gonna be a good game.
The Lumberjacks defense is fourth in the Big Sky in interceptions. However, your quarterback, Richie Munoz, he has a great ratio, 13 touchdowns, 1 interception this season. How do you feel about that matchup between your passing game and the DBs for the Jacks?
Me, I'm a ride with my boy Richie. I'm favoring Richie all the way, and I have confidence in Richie that he's gonna have to go out there and make the right decisions. And as an offense, as a team, we're all just gonna get behind him. Motivate him. He's as a quarterback, he brings us together, and we will ride behind him the whole way.
This, of course, is the third year that the Red Rock Rivalry Trophy is in play. Series tied 1-1 since that trophy has been introduced. What would it mean to bring that trophy back to Ogden this season?
Oh yeah, it'll mean a lot. You know what I'm saying? Especially since we got it took last year early, we got to definitely go ahead and get that back. So we look forward to going up there and playing and competing for that trophy.
Coming up, hear from 3-time Big Sky Special Teams Player of the Week, Ross Bolger.
We never set out to be the largest casino resort in the Pacific Northwest. We just wanted to be the best. But we forgot that being the best means more guests wanting more action, more jackpots, more big-name entertainment, more pedicures. Well, more everything. Until one day, you look up and realize, we need a new hotel tower. The new River Tower, to be exact. Northern Quest in Spokane, Washington. Now the largest. And yes, still the best.
Idaho State's Ross Bolger averaged 40.5 yards per punt, nailing 2 inside the 20 in Saturday's overtime win, earning him the Player of the Week honors. Even more impressive was that fake punt you pulled off and converted for that first down late in the fourth quarter. What was going through your mind when coach said, "Hey, Ross, we're faking it"?
So I didn't know until I went out onto the field and got the signal, and the play clock was run down as well. So I didn't have much time to think, but it kind of worked in my favor. The ball was snapped, and I just took off. Really, I went a bit rogue on it. I didn't follow my blocks properly, but I picked up the first down, and that's what mattered.
You said you went a bit rogue. How often have you practiced that play itself?
We practice it. We practice it a lot during the season, like every week. And usually I go off to the right, but this time I kind of cut it upfield because I saw some space, and thankfully it worked out. And I kind of got clobbered on the sideline after then as well. There was good excitement after it.
What was your reaction when you realized you got that first down to extend the play and the drive?
Yeah, I didn't have a good bearing of where the first down marker was, so I just got as much as I could, and got tackled. And then my teammates' reaction, as well as the crowd, kind of told me that I had picked it up, and I was excited, as I think most people saw. And yeah, on the sideline as well, it took me about 10 minutes to get my breath back from everyone kind of jumping all over me and all on the sideline.
You are originally from Ireland. You grew up playing Gaelic football. How did you go from playing Gaelic football to American football?
It started with a guy called Tig Leader back home. He set up Leader Kicking in 2022, and I was a fan of American football, so I said I'd go to his kind of kicking academy for the first session, and kind of from there he told me I have a real chance to play over here, and he kind of promoted me on Twitter at the time. And 9 months after my first session, I was at Idaho State University, and 12 months after it, I played my first game in 2023.
How was that transition going to life in Ireland playing Gaelic football to all the way across the United States to Idaho, being a punter for Idaho State?
Yeah, it's very different, to be honest. There's so many differences. The culture of American football itself, the kind of the weather here, stuff like that, and then just seeing places around the US that I've never even heard of it's all cool experiences.
How far do you hope your football career takes you here in the United States?
Um, to be honest, as far as it can, I don't. I'm just going to give it my all. I know this is my senior year, so after this year I'm finished due to me doing college in Ireland. That add up some of my eligibility. So we'll see what happens after this year. If this is it and I've only 3 games left, then I know I gave it my all. So if not, anything after this is a bonus, but I'm already living the dream out here.
Monte Feature is a Hall of Famer. What goes into playing the part? Find out after this. In September, Montana's beloved Monte Bear became the 10th NCAA mascot and first FCS mascot to be enshrined in the Mascot Hall of Fame. He was one of 4 inductees in the 2024 class. Over the summer, I caught up with one of the many former Montes, Barry Anderson, who has gone on to make a career out of being a mascot.
The audition is like they just put you in the costume in a equipment closet and up in the volleyball courts, and they just put you in. It's kind of dark in there, and then they open the door and you come out, and then you're on, and there's like a judging panel, and you're just supposed to go. I ran out. I could see everyone's face light up, and it was just a very addictive feeling. And just, I mean, in those first 2 minutes, I was like, oh man. And I just fell in love with it.
Your first season as Monte, you were named Mascot of the Year. What did that mean to you?
There was this sense of pride that this small school up in the mountains in Montana could compete on the same level as all the D1 schools in a way that we typically wouldn't have the ability to. There was this sense of pride, and especially also because it was such a weird way to beat a lot of the larger schools. I think it was like a nuanced sense of pride and silliness.
I spoke with one of the current Montes a couple weeks ago, and I asked him if he knew you, and he said, of course I know Barry. He is the GOAT of mascots. Everything he touches turns to gold. What does that mean to you to hear that?
Being in this as long as I have now, it's really weird. You start meeting people who were literally children watching these videos on YouTube and now have become professional mascots, and they sort of share this story of like, I wanted to be a mascot because I saw these YouTube videos and you were doing all these ridiculous things, and I was just like, that's what I want to do. And now they're doing this, for a profession. It's weird to think that something you've done could lead to sort of life decisions that someone might make, and it means a lot.
People have called you the GOAT of mascot. You have left a lasting impact on Monte, have been some of the biggest mascots on the biggest stages. In your opinion, what does it take to be a good mascot?
You got to have a screw loose for sure. I think that's probably, that gets you in the door, being slightly unstable. But I think the biggest thing would be a really strong sense of humanity. You really have to understand and have like this emotional reservoir inside and try to treat people the right way while also still sometimes getting some laughs at their expense.
Monte is going to be in the Mascot Hall of Fame. How does that make you feel, knowing that you were once a Monte?
When the nomination came in, it was cool to see that, almost across the board amongst the executive committee and voting members, everyone was like, yeah, this is really cool, because he is sort of this anomaly in the mascot world, and the way the school supports him is very unique. So it was super cool to hear that from people that are involved in the industry across the board, of corporate, all the different leagues. It was like another one of those moments where there's a bit of pride being a smaller school. Monte was one of 4, and that, that's pretty cool.
After break, ESPN and Big Sky play-by-play commentator Tony Parks is here for some game picks. Welcome back to This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm Megan Robinson. It's November, which means this month we will officially crown 3 new tournament champions around the Big Sky. Here's what's happening in the conference. Montana clinched their 2nd consecutive regular season title after defeating Weber State 3-0. The Grizz will host the Big Sky Soccer Championship presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield Montana, November 6th through 10th, and again in 2025. In volleyball, UNC has won 7 matches in a row. The Bears haven't dropped a set since October 12th. Idaho State sits in 2nd in the Big Sky standings. They are taking a 3-match win streak into Week 10. 6 athletes from the Big Sky have received automatic qualifiers for the ITA Conference Masters. Sacramento State swept the women's selections, chosen from a pool of nominees and voted on by head coaches. They will compete for a berth into the NCAA singles and doubles championships. And UNC golfer Timber Sheehy earned her 2nd Big Sky Golfer of the Week honor of the season after posting a career best and school record of 14 under par at the Clash at Boulder Creek. That's what happened this week around the Big Sky. With me now is Tony Parks, ESPN play-by-play commentator, and he's also on the call for our Big Sky basketball tournament every March in Boise. He's going to pick some games in just a little bit. But Tony, I want to talk broadcasting because you've been at this for a while and people don't always understand how hard of a job it can be. What do you wish people on the outside better understood about your job and calling games?
Oh, the hours off the microphone are endless because you are truly trying to get as much information and pertinent information so you have it, you know it, it's ready, putting together spotter boards, putting together facts, information, stats, details. It's not just about, writing down as many stats as you can. Why do those stats matter? When do they matter? I wish they could understand just how much detail goes into preparing for the game and knowing, by the way, that you may not end up using 60 to 70% of the stuff that you prepare.
When you think about your broadcasting career, Big Sky or otherwise, what are some of your most memorable calls that you have had?
When it comes to the Big Sky tournament, I don't think there's any doubt. The Oakland Forts 3-point shot.
Fort for the win. Got it. Oh my. And the 1 seed one and done.
Tony, you will not be on the NAU Weber State ESPN Plus call this weekend. So I'm hoping you get to watch some of these games that we are about to pick. We'll start with Montana State heading out to Cheney to face Eastern Washington. Will they stay perfect?
What I think is great about Montana State is every single week they have something to prove, and that is that they can get even better and start to sharpen that saw to become more like the championship team they're capable of being. My opinion is they'll keep that focus, and I think they'll go in and play like the national contender that they are.
Another team hoping to make a run to that national championship is, of course, the Montana Grizzlies. They are heading to Cal Poly. Who do you like in this one?
Well, I like Montana in this one because I think, obviously they're going to be hungry and they're going to want to prevail, and they understand what's on the line. And I think they're going to be a team on a mission there in November.
Our game of the week is the Red Rock rivalry game. Weber State heading to Flagstaff to face NAU. This game is crucial to the overall FCS playoff for both teams. Who do you like in this matchup?
I have never seen a team play championship level football for huge stretches and make catastrophic losing plays at some of the strangest moments. But when they're playing at their best, I'm telling you, Megan, I have been so impressed. But Weber State more than anybody, if they can get out of their own way, they have a chance to be great in November.
It'll be an exciting November across the entire Big Sky. Lots of different scenarios going to play out. Tony, appreciate you taking some time to chat broadcasting and, of course, picking some Big Sky football.
Hey, always a great time. Thanks, Megan.
The Red Rock rivalry trophy and a lot of playoff implications on the line in this matchup between Weber State and NAU. Thanks so much for joining me on another episode of This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm your host, Megan Robinson. I will see you all next week. For all the latest Big Sky content, subscribe to our YouTube channel.